Every single year, this small island town just north of Boston, Massachusetts, gets invaded. And the invaders come from the sky, as invaders often do. When the weather in New England turns foul and cold, this is when these invaders make their move. They're silent, they're deadly, and they blend in with their environment perfectly. So when the sun finally sets for the day and the moon comes up, this is when they strike. So you're going to want to sit back, you're going to want to relax, and you're most definitely going to want to check this out. Okay, to get the new subscribers up to speed, I travel the United States. I travel the country in a 25-year-old Toyota Land Cruiser. And I go to the most remote places that I can possibly find to take film. Specifically to take film of trails, nature, animals, etc. And I take the road less traveled, we'll call it. And I've seen some of the most amazing things in my travels. I've watched the sun come up in the White Mountains on the East Coast, and I've also filmed the sun setting in Oregon on the West Coast. But going from state to state, there's so many different types of animals and environments to check out and get on film, and I've tried to do that every place that I've gone. Now, something very strange that I've noticed over the years, and many other people have noticed, is wild animals have no fear of me. It's quite the contrary. Many times I find wild animals simply walking right up to me like I'm not a human. I don't know what to make of that. For instance, this coyote in Death Valley.
You look hungry, man. It's a hungry little coyote, or sick. You should probably get out of the road, dude.
Or one time on the East Coast while hiking through the forest, I had a companion start following me.
He's like, you smell terrible. I know. Yeah. Hey, buddy. You gonna attack me? This has never happened to me, ever. There's a mama bear up there, right up there. Holy cow. I've never seen these guy's so close. The mother's right up there. I can see her.
So you get the gist of it. I enjoy taking videos, I enjoy taking pictures, and I have no fear of getting too close to wild animals many times. I love taking video. I love bringing the outdoors to people that can't necessarily do it for themselves anymore. And every piece of footage you see in my videos, whether it's turtles in the Louisiana bayou or moose in the Bighorn Mountains, I've taken all this footage myself. I travel alone for the most part, and I have lots of cameras, and I try to use them. Mule deer in Texas, wherever.
Nice, thank you.
For all the remote places I've traveled to get video footage of animals you wouldn't necessarily see, all the places I've searched, one animal most people have never seen shows up right across the street from my house every year. Now this is directly across the street from my house. I live on the Atlantic Ocean. And after the summertime passes by, the beach is not particularly friendly. It's very hostile, very similar to a desert. It's wide open, cold, and very, very windy. The only good thing about wintertime on the Atlantic is that every year these guys return without fail. Every single solitary year as far back as I can remember, and that's 50 years. And what I'm talking about is the snowy owl. They're a very large owl with smoothly rounded heads and no ear tufts. They have big bodies with dense feathering on the legs that make the bird look wide at the base when sitting on the ground. And every year, on their way back to the Arctic to breed, they stop over in our town, and they can be found absolutely everywhere. Unlike most owls, snowy owls are diurnal, which means they hunt during the day and at night. But primarily, you can find them resting during the day if you happen to notice them. It's difficult to differentiate them from the seagulls, which are also white and scattered about. But a sharp eye, you will definitely find them, and I spent well over a week every single night trying to get footage of these guys one way or the other, and I got some amazing footage. Now, traditionally, if you're looking for owls, you look in places like this. Because traditionally, forests, wooded areas are where you find them, or old barns, old factories. And out in the woods, I've found lots of different types of owls. And I've spent a lot of time searching for owls, great horns, short-eared owls, barred owls, etc. And in these particular environments, you will, without a doubt, find them if you look. I have. I've had really good luck in my local area finding and getting footage of barred owls and great horned owls. And if you're interested in videos like that, I will leave links in the description below because I've got a lot of videos on owls. But the snowy owl, you won't find them in this area, or it's very rare if you did. Where you do find them, most people wouldn't even look. Unlike most owls, the snowy owl is right at home, right out in the middle of the open. This is Boston Harbor right here, and it's the last place you'd expect to find an owl, and yet you will. Also, sitting right on the beach. They sit on the rocks because they breed on the tundra, the Arctic tundra, out in the open, usually at the highest point that they can find out on the tundra, because it blows away all sorts of vegetation and it leads to their nest. Easily defended, I guess? I don't know. But unlike any other owl, snowies sit right out in the open. Look for them sitting on or near the ground in wide open spaces. They often perch on such rises as the crest of dunes, on rocks, telephone poles, anything that gives them an overlook, or they'll sit right on the ground. It's amazing. Totally different than any other owl I've ever searched for. But when they do make their way back to our island, they can pretty much be found anywhere. Now, if you happen to live in an area where snowy owls tend to visit, just like with any other raptor, if you've got an owl or a hawk in your neighborhood, one sure way you'll know if they're there is the crows will tell you every time. He didn't seem to be scared off because he sat there for a good 8 hours, even after the crows left. Now, snowy owls only come in one color, basically. The adult male is totally white, with maybe a couple of small black spots, but other than that, totally white with large yellow eyes like a cat. The adult female or an immature owl looks like the owl you're looking at right now. I would guess that that's an adult female. They're an amazing bird. The colors are beautiful. They're just amazing, and they're very rare. They only pass through, but when they do pass through, if you really look for them, they're not all that hard to find. Now, I decided to go try to get some footage of these guys hunting at night, and it was a lot more difficult than I had hoped for, but I got some amazing footage. If you can watch this in 4K, I highly recommend it because this is phenomenal. I've never seen footage like this. Every night, right after the sun went down or daylight faded, I was able to find one particular owl at one particular spot. It was very cold and it was incredibly windy, and I had to keep warming up my batteries, but I was able to get some pretty amazing footage. Now, you'd never expect it, but this is one of the snowy owl's favorite roosts right here. This is a channel marker out in the middle of the Boston Harbor, and this is way out there. And you need to have a really good set of binoculars or a sharp eye to notice when they're out there, but they're even more difficult to spot at night. I had pretty good luck catching this guy almost every night for about 4 or 5 days. And I caught him doing some kiting, which is just kind of hang gliding in the sky while he's hunting. It was really, really cold and very windy, which allowed him to do what he was doing. But man, it sucked for me. It was cold. If you've ever tried to film birds of prey at nighttime, you realize how difficult it is to get them on film at night flying. And fortunately, I was able to get him moving around a lot. So enjoy. I'm going to try to keep the yakking to a minimal while you just enjoy this amazing footage. Now this is where I'm standing while I'm filming the owl the entire time. I'm right at the water's edge, basically in Boston Harbor. I'm looking at Boston right now, right there. And I'm trying to get as close as I can without spooking him. And this one's pretty funny. Because the entire time I've been hiding behind the reeds trying to get footage of him. But I decided to climb along a tall wall and try to sneak up behind the shed and get footage of him from really close. But he spotted me. I'm on a 6-foot tall wall that's about 9 inches wide, and I almost killed myself, but he still spotted me. It was amazing how close he let me get to him, and I should stop calling him a he because I believe it's a female or an immature male. I didn't ask, he didn't tell, but he allowed me to get pretty darn close to him until he finally flew away. And I didn't want to freak him out or scare him or anything like that. I kept my distance. I was using a 200 millimeter lens. So there's my video, there's my story. Every year these guys show up, and when they show up, they are absolutely everywhere. And it was my privilege to have been able to get them on video. Because even though they're everywhere right now, pretty soon they'll be gone. And pretty soon, I'll be gone. At any rate, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below, and I will return the favor. If you enjoy videos on owls, I'll leave a link in the description box below. I am out.